Hello everyone, Paul Akers, and welcome back to the American Innovator, day 15 of our epic journey across Europe on our Beyond Band of Brothers tour. Now, we're going from Hamburg to Berlin, and right outside in a small suburb of Berlin is a beautiful lake called the Wannsee Lake. And this house right here was owned by a Jewish merchant and was the place where the Wannsee Conference was held. Now, I didn't even know what this conference was, but basically 15 of the top Nazi leaders met here for 90 minutes to decide the fate of the Jewish population. And what they decided in 90 minutes was the Holocaust, how they would systematically murder over 12 million people, 6 million Jews and 12 million totally, through the mass extermination, through the use of gas chambers, shootings, and all kinds of other atrocities that would be committed over the course of the next year or two. Now, it was hard to believe that this could all happen, but it did happen. And the sad thing about it is that of the 15 people there, 8 held doctorates. So these were seemingly intelligent people that made this horrific decision, and this is the man in the family who owned it, the Jewish man that owned it. Then the Nazis gained control of it. It became a place where they went to R&R. And we had a great talk and a lecture from our historian who walked us through the entire process and what happened there in those 90 minutes. But it was really hard to believe. Now we're going to step inside the room here in a minute, and you're going to see where the conference was actually held. There's a great movie called Conspiracy that we highly recommend you watch, and you can actually see the whole thing unfold. And this is the beautiful setting where one of the greatest atrocities known to mankind was hatched, right here in this house, on this lake, and in this room. This is where the conference table was set up, and these 15 men sat around here and became complicit in this diabolical, nefarious scheme to eradicate over 12 million people, 6 million Jews from the earth in the course of just 1 year. That was their intention. Through the gassing and mass extermination, they had literal drawings of people, how they identified them as Jewish, and the whole program that was set in place to literally purge Europe from the Jewish race. Now, the man that led this conference was General Heydrich, known as the Butcher of Prague, and we just saw an incredible movie called Anthropoi, which I highly recommend you watch, and you'll learn about him as well, because they had an attempt on his life and they were successful. He died from an infection. But the man that hatched this whole plan and presided over it was ultimately assassinated and killed by Czechoslovakian people that parachuted in on a British plane and were successful. And it was the only successful assassination on a high-level Nazi leader. Now, there were as many as 40 assassination attempts against Adolf Hitler. All of them failed, but this one did succeed, and deservingly so. So this is day 15 of our epic journey beyond Band of Brothers as we weave our way across Europe and learn about the Allied invasion and World War II and all the events leading up to it, from the early 20s all the way through to 1945, when the Allies finally became victorious. Day 15, Beyond Band of Brothers tour.